hates puppies.
We'll never catch that fire again.
No, we were on fire.
It'll never happen. I feel threatened. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Pallet House, the only podcast dedicated to solving first world problems and hopefully helping you figure out what you should be drinking or eating this week. Apparently, Troy's eating Pringles.
Yeah, they're still not very good.
No. And I know what I've done in the can.
Oh, is that why the glove was on it?
Yes, that's not for freshness. Not for freshness.
And Dave is living first world problems.
In a second world country.
Yes. I still don't really know where he is.
He's in Spain.
Okay.
That's what I know.
Penis colada or something. Penis cola.
Yes, Pensacola.
No, it wasn't spelled that way.
It was spelled penis cola. Yeah. Yes, dick pop.
With the little, whatever the squiggly thing is.
Yeah, to let you know that it's Spanish.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know what that thing's called.
Me either, because I don't speak Spanish.
But so it's penis cola.
Oh,
I would guess, right? Penis. It's like Mike Tyson's dick. It's a penis.
Or
this is my penis.
You watched the Lil Dicky show, right? He was creating an album called Penneth or something like that.
I don't know if I remember an album called Penneth, but that is hilarious. Suck my penneth.
So yeah, Dave is sending us lots of penis-related
just
jokes.
Anytime he's sending us a lot of stupid jokes.
Yeah.
I think he's becoming more of a child in Spain.
I think he's upset that he's not here to unload his penis jokes on us.
Or unload just his penis.
That was kind of a penis joke in and of itself.
In and of itself. You nailed it. Yeah, he does seem to be having FOMO. Like when we said we were recording tonight, he's like, that sucks, man.
Yeah.
I wish I was there. I was like, you're literally on the beach in Spain.
I know.
And you wish you were in the pallet house talking into a microphone.
Well, I knew I cut him deep when you were like, hey, are we still on the record tonight? I was like, I can record tonight or I can never, ever record this shit again. And he was like, sad emoji.
He didn't like that.
He did not.
He did not like that. This is what he's got. This is his thing.
Without this.
All he's got is a wife and kids.
And if he doesn't come back by week 3, he's out.
Are you going to put that out there now?
Yeah,
he's going to be all
sure.
stressed because he's going to be flying on a plane listening to this shit. Is he serious? Is Troy serious? Because he'll be awake till the 2-minute mark. He's going to hear that.
Yeah.
That's rough. Yeah, we were going off. We were having a whole conversation because you said, but this isn't good for the pod. And then
it got good.
But we'll never catch that lightning in a bottle again.
No,
but
probably not.
We were just talking about the idiocracy of burial plots.
Yeah.
I do think they used to make a lot more sense.
Yes.
Back in the day when you lived on your family land.
Yeah, when you were like, oh yeah, we got 100 acres and we've owned it for 100 years. So when the patriarch or matriarch passes away, you just...
The land goes to the kids.
Yeah, the land stays in your family because everybody's living there.
Grandparents are buried there. Your parents
you got a little
there.
spot in the back corner where everybody gets buried.
Where the crops don't grow.
Exactly. And that made sense. But now it's just very commercialized. And I never thought of it. I said, yeah, we commercialize it. And you were like, yeah, that's America. And I was like, yeah. But that being said, cemeteries have been around. I've never been to Europe, but you go over there and there's tons of them there too.
Cemeteries have always been around, but
public cemeteries just seem especially weird to me.
They do. I like the idea of being buried on the family land, but you have to assume the family land is going to hold for eons.
Yeah, I think I don't know the code section, but it probably would be illegal that my wife and kids bury me in our quarter of an acre in a neighborhood in Chesterfield County. I would think that would be frowned upon.
It's my property. I own it. Don't tell me what to do on my property.
Where my dog's shitting and pissing and
Yeah.
they're playing volleyball and hitting baseballs.
But I wouldn't want to be on a quarter acre.
No.
But that's the thing. I think people became
But that's
more
the
transient.
land I own now. Like I don't own 40 acres.
You need 40 acres.
Yeah.
You need to go get that shit.
Yeah.
Go get 40 acres and be like, and just put it in a trust.
I wonder if there's a code for it. I wonder what there's got to be rules and regulations. Like you probably have to have a certain amount of land before you can just go burying a loved one.
You think that's it? There's a certain, it's a numerical.
I'm sure there's a numerical thing. There's probably environmental thing. Like, is it to a watershed? Is it feed, wells? There's probably each county and or city probably has a code.
But did you ever think about it when you bury your dog?
I've never buried a dog since I've lived in suburbia.
I've buried animals. I've definitely buried cats.
We've left all of our animals at the vet because the vet will take care of it.
Yeah, I couldn't. I don't even want to talk about that.
I loved it when we had to put our dog down, and they put the dog down, and we were there, and they were like, "We'll take it from here." I was like, "This is amazing," because this is a freaking 90-pound fucking literally dead weight that I don't know what to do with.
But you buried other things, guinea pigs, hamsters.
I don't think we've had any of those die. I would probably not. Well, yeah, I guess I would.
I've got a cat in my yard.
I mean, it's two shovelfuls. That's not a lot.
I've got a turtle in the yard, buried. Yeah, it's just a cat and a turtle, and I've got ashes from my dog because I went over the top.
You got a pet cemetery out here.
Yeah, but I went and got my dog cremated and buried his ashes.
Yeah,
that
is over the top.
That was, you know what the worst part about that is? Taking your dog.
Yeah, that's why.
Crematorium.
That's why when I walked out of the vet, I was already sad, but knowing I could move on and not prolong this. Well, you like to wallow in the sadness.
There's something super cool, about carrying a stiff dog in your trunk. Oh, God, it was awful.
That does sound awful.
It was fucking awful. Dropped him off. That way you get to cry again.
And on the way back?
Yeah. That's real cool.
To get the ashes that may or may not have been your animal?
Yeah. It's cool because there's so many songs for that moment.
They're like...
You just dial in.
They're like, how many pounds was your dog? 75. You hear somebody in the back. That's 3 scoops.
It's just charcoal.
Yeah.
They had a huge barbecue.
Or it's just all the animals just in
Why
one.
Not? Why not? I tested it.
We're 2 cats short. Top him off.
I tested it. It was definitely my dog. There's trace amounts of cat.
A freeze?
Yeah. Just a little bit.
just
rubbed it on my gums. Be like, no, that's pure.
Yeah.
That's my dog. For sure. Only my dog can numb my lips up like that.
That's right.
Dude, you see Stefan Diggs?
No, what did he do?
Dude, honestly,
I saw something where he had done something, a picture of him on the boat or something with a girl or something.
He had 4 girls on a boat partying, and he was sitting there, and they were all around him. Who the fuck is recording? I don't know.
Yeah.
Why it's being recorded? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I
can tell you why. Somebody's probably trying to bust his ass.
But
it's a private boat, I'm assuming?
It's his boat.
Yeah.
They're out in the water doing their thing Memorial Day weekend, and he's got girls in bikinis hanging around him.
Is he married? Because that makes this worse.
No.
Okay. I don't know.
No, he's a wise man.
There's 2 ways.
He actually is dating Cardi B or some shit.
These athletes do 2 things. They marry their high school sweetheart, or they stay single. Well, actually, there's a third because some of them marry and still go out and
he's got a fancy girlfriend. He's
okay.
like Cardi B, I think.
Good for him. So anyway, what was he doing on this boat?
He literally was talking to these girls, and all he said is you could hear one of the girls asking for something.
Uh-huh.
And then he was like, "We gotta call me daddy, get that." And she was like, "Daddy, come on, help me out." And then there was he was like, "If I give this to you," he's like, "We're doing that later." There was an implied. There was a agreement of sorts, and I was kind of excited for him because this agreement seemed to be across the board.
Yeah.
So,
well, who doesn't make agreements with their significant other?
I don't know that Cardi B was on there.
Oh, okay.
She might have been. I couldn't tell.
Well, I'm still waiting for him. As of right now, he hadn't done anything wrong in my eyes.
Literally, he's negotiating with them.
Oh, so this isn't a drug thing?
No, the music's pumping.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he pulled out some drugs.
Well, he did. He pulled out. He pulled out a baggie of sorts.
Yeah.
And there was
of his pet.
And there was pink powder in it. Yeah. So obviously, his pet flamingo's ashes was there with him, and they were going to spread them.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I hope he comes up with this.
And then they spread into his nose accidentally?
They just no. So you didn't see him do anything.
Okay.
He pulled something out, and the girl's like,
Rock candy?
yeah, daddy," and then he gives it to him, and then the footage cuts as she's like turning away, like hell yeah, and the other girls are like, like excited.
I'm so out of it. What's pink and in a baggie?
Tusi.
What? Yeah, that's was that the guy's name?
No. Tuci.
Oh, I was thinking of the Breaking Bad guy. Who was the bad guy in Breaking Bad? Like, I want to say his name was Tusi or something like Tico or something.
You're
like
talking about that dude. No, it wasn't Tusi.
What's Tusi? I don't even know what that is.
Basically, nowadays it's pink cocaine.
Oh,
Which pink cocaine is a mix up. Well, depends where you fucking
yeah.
get
Who
it.
knows what it's a mix of?
Nowadays, pink cocaine is who knows what.
Yeah.
Originally, it was actually a pill that you could get in Europe that was made you feel great when you would snort it, but it also burned for like 4 minutes.
Uh-huh.
And so it was a really rough intro to the high.
Yeah.
So it was a big hurdle.
Yeah.
So they would end up cutting it with all these other things that would make it pink.
Okay, so the pink is just like an additive.
Yeah, so they would cut it with this other stuff that would make it so your nose wouldn't hurt so bad, your sinuses wouldn't hurt so bad, and it tasted a little better because apparently the drip was.
I assume the pink was
horrible.
just for show, like
So now that pill
it's
became
the
so hard.
Tiffany blue of cocaine, like it's the designer cocaine because white's boring.
Kind of.
Yeah,
But it was originally a pill. Then that pill became very, very hard to get. So what do? You do what any drug dealer does. Okay, if we can't get that stuff,
make something else.
make something else that looks like that
Yeah.
stuff, which the known mixture, the best mixture that most people are doing is ketamine. And you mix ketamine with pure MDMA, like ecstasy. And then you add caffeine or a caffeine derivative.
So that's all the ups and downs going.
Yeah, so you're going to come down from the ketamine, but feel weird. But then the ecstasy is going to get the jolt of the caffeine. So it's going to come in, I guess, a little bit faster, but it's also going to keep you a little more up.
Sounds like that would send your body into quite the confusion.
Which apparently feels great.
Yeah.
So the problem is now, though, that a lot of the pink cocaine that's out there is getting cut with meth,
Yeah.
cocaine, instead of...
Fentanyl.
Well, so the fentanyl kind of... I read some articles, and apparently we're not getting a lot of fentanyl in here because you want it to have you still be up, and fentanyl puts you down so much. But the ketamine already puts you down. So I think there's something about the ketamine and the fentanyl might be too much. So they're not adding a lot of fentanyl because it's not a great cutting agent. But meth is a good cutting agent because it keeps you coming back for more, and you're staying up.
Well, they usually cut the stuff with filler to make more of it, so you can turn
which is
$100 into $1,000.
Which is why fentanyl is so good because it takes so little.
Yeah.
Then you can put a bunch of other crap
But you
in
also
it.
you can
Kill people.
and then you don't have customers, which has always been the weird thing with these drugs. Like I'm like, why would you even toy around with something that'll kill you? Like,
because you're already toying around with something to kill you. You're selling them heroin.
a lot of that stuff doesn't kill you. It's the other stuff.
Yeah, but heroin will kill you. Too much heroin.
Yeah, but it's mostly the too much part. Like fentanyl will kill you immediately.
It's
like,
a pretty bad drug.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so in the perfect world,
You hear about like baking soda and baby laxative, and you're like, well, that makes sense because you buy it off the counter for, $5 for a gallon of it. And
you
can
cut it 50-50, and now, they're going to have to do a lot more.
Exactly.
And they're going to shit a lot.
Yeah.
So be it.
Yeah. Throw some BC powder in there, and you're going to fix your
But
headache.
I guess typically it's ketamine and MDMA and caffeine. And then sometimes you're going to get meth and sometimes you're going to get coke.
Yeah.
But those kind of replace the caffeine to create, but MDMA and ketamine is kind of the power punch that they're looking for, and then you need an upper of some sort. But that's pink cocaine. So everybody is now, or Tusi,
Okay.
which is the exact same thing that Diddy got busted with at the airport.
Oh.
His mule that was heading out there got popped with a bunch of Tusi. And I was like, what the fuck is Tusi?
For his freak offs?
Migraines.
Oh, migraines.
It was prescribed.
Nice.
I'm sure. I
trust him.
I think Diddy has done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
The more and more that comes out, I just think this is a witch hunt.
Do you really?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No. That dude was up to no good. From the time he was
Well, let's not
college.
get to him yet because I don't know anything about this Diggs thing. So like everybody's freaking out over it now.
Yeah, but
What part of
technically
it?
speaking, you never saw him do drugs. You don't know what the drugs were. He just had a pink thing.
The one thing I would say he did dumb is invite that dude on the boat.
Whoever was recording.
No, but in all seriousness, that was dumb. But really, the only thing technically he did wrong is and you got to prove it was drugs he gave her. That was bad.
And he should be able to turn around and say, test me.
Yeah.
Because the drugs that are in there shouldn't last in your body.
He might not even be doing them. He might just be.
You didn't see him do it, and you saw him hand it out.
He might be
wanted
bartering for the
pussy.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it was. If you watch the video, it's pretty clear that that's what's happening.
Yeah.
He's like, well, we're going to do that thing, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, daddy, just come on. And he's like, boom. Now you're hearing this all over music and all that. So that's my interpretation of what's happening.
That's what the interaction looked like.
That's what it looked like to me. He was like, sure, I'd be glad to give you this, but the four of you are going to be getting down.
Yeah.
This is going to be a fun day.
This is my version of rubbing your back for 10 minutes. And then later tonight, you're going to be rubbing my back for 10 minutes with your friends.
Why don't you go downstairs and engage in foreplay?
Yeah.
And then we're going to freak off.
But I guess the world's in a tizzy over it.
Yeah, they're not psyched.
Yeah.
Well, now the coach of the Patriots is Vrabel, who doesn't tolerate any bullshit. So, yeah, this didn't go well. But But
Stephon Diggs is one of those guys, you've got to tolerate his bullshit.
Yeah, but he's never had shit like this.
No, but I'm saying, like, unless look, there's NFL players that have done way worse that get to play.
Yeah.
To me, this is a sit him down and have a talk.
I'm shocked that a rich young man would be on a boat with all these scantily clad women and trying to have sex. To me,
that doesn't check out.
That to me is crazy.
Yeah.
Who does that?
On a holiday weekend.
On a holiday weekend.
Weird.
Come on.
On his off season.
Even a weirder time to do it. Yeah, what a creep. No, I mean, honestly, all he has to do is show up and be like, I'd be glad to take a drug test. That was fucking pink marijuana gummies.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was rock candy.
It was gummies.
Yeah.
We were all doing gummies. Like, okay.
Yeah, because all that stuff would be out of his system, even if he did it, which I'm not saying.
So I'm saying, if he says it's gummies, then he takes them down a road of, okay, that's in your system for 30 days.
Yeah.
And then he can be like, but I'll pee in a cup. I didn't even do it. And I bought them legally.
Yeah.
Fuck, it was Delta 8. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would certainly go down the road if it was candy, because the baggie actually looked kind of high end, had like a label on it and shit, but clearly some pink shit in there. And I don't know anything about Tusi, but it looked like a lot. Like, I assume that a little corner bag is a fair amount.
Well, he's
this
rich.
Bitch ran the whole body.
Yeah, he ain't gonna mess around with that.
Yeah, that thing was a fingerful. Like it was a.
He ain't trying to get stopped halfway through his back rub.
No, we're doing this back rub, and
I'm getting my back rub to completion.
Yeah, he's getting this shit from Diddy.
Yeah,
like this is the good stuff.
Yeah, are you following that Diddy stuff?
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
It's pretty wild. I'm listening to some podcasts, and they're like, all the Datelines and 2020s are talking about it, and it's just they're not talking about, and I haven't heard anyone talk about. And I didn't follow it when it was happening, but you used to hear the infamous Diddy freak-offs. Like, you heard celebrities talking about it.
Well, they talk about the white parties being the shit.
And the freak-offs.
But then you knew you had to get out.
Yeah.
Before the freak-off.
But there are famous people that have said that nobody throws parties like Diddy. And
hell yeah.
You know, some of them knew about it. But, like, nobody seems to be digging into that yet.
Oh, they all were there, but I think unless you were in the freak off. Well, no, look, it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. I mean, this dude beating the shit out of people, torching cars. He's doing a lot of illegal shit. Like I don't.
Do you know
think
why
you
they called him Puffy? Puff Daddy?
Nah.
They talked about this on the on one of the legit podcasts, like not
This
not this was like a Dayliner 2020. They said when he was a kid, when he wouldn't get his way, he would huff and puff. He'd like pout and throw a temper tantrum, and that's how he got the nickname. And I kind of thought that was a little weird because I was thinking he leaned into that. Like that doesn't sound like a nickname you would lean into. And then I got thinking, well, he kind of went, or at least when I heard his nickname, Puff Daddy, what did you think?
I thought that dude smoked all the weed.
Exactly. So, like, maybe it was one of those accidental nicknames that sounds better than the intent, you know?
Yeah. My fraternity nickname is Ice Cube. That sounds cool.
It does.
Yeah.
Because you're as cold as ice. You got ice running through your veins.
I lean into that shit.
Yeah.
I lean into that shit. The real reason sucks.
I'm not even going to ask.
The real reason sucks.
Does it? Is that why you're called Ice Cube? Because it sucks?
Let's just say I'm bad at foreplay. That's how things went south.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just didn't go well.
Now that you say that, I think I've heard the story.
Yeah, it didn't go. But I'm saying, like, then you get a nickname like
Things went
Ice Cube,
south?
and you go, I'm gonna lean into that.
Yeah.
Like, Ice Cube's
Could have
a
been
good
worse.
one. Yeah, like not so bad.
Yeah.
So sometimes you get a nickname and you just go, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm good with that nickname. I'm just going to let it be. I'm just not going to tell the story behind it. And I'm sure he didn't go, oh, it's because I'm a temper tantrum little bitch.
Yeah, because when I don't get my way, I stomp my feet and huff and puff around the playground.
This bullshit. I'm upset. Yeah, just stomping around.
Yeah.
Now I'd be like, nah, man, I smoke.
I'm taking my basketball and I'm going home.
Nah, I outsmoke Snoop.
That's right. Yeah.
That's a
Snoop
cool
wishes
nickname.
he was Puff Daddy.
And then other times I'm sure he can say, because you don't want to see me puff up.
That's right.
I'll fuck kill you.
That's right.
Like, I'm sure it took on a whole
Yeah.
other meaning. Had nothing to do with him being a bitch.
Yeah.
Which I hope they don't have this in New York. Wherever the fuck.
Rikers or wherever.
Actually, we get some downloads that way.
Dude, let me tell you what I had the pleasure of doing yesterday. My youngest son got an award at school, which I think I might have talked about this a year ago when my oldest son got an award. I'll throw that story out there real quick. I remember
your oldest son's award.
Yeah, well, we got
The hardest award to get.
Yeah, we got the like email saying, "Come to the award ceremony. Your son's getting an award." And we're like, "Hell yeah, this is gonna be cool." And they gave out all awards, and they never called his name. I'm like, "Well, what's going on?" Now they're like, "And for perfect attendance," and they rattled off like 6 people, and I was like, "What the hell, man?" I sat through a
perfect attendance award.
Whole
the
hour of this.
worst part about that award? You already knew that.
I did because I think collectively, like, my kids don't miss school days unless there's like a legit doctor's, like they've had a surgery or something. We just don't really vacation, and they don't take sick. They don't pull the, I got the black lung. Like they just, they do stuff at every day after school. And they know if they don't go to school, they don't do their stuff.
So they got it.
So it's like, yeah, I'm sucking it up.
I got a sniffle. I'm fucking going.
So my younger son, we knew he was getting an award, and I knew he had all A's all year. So I was like, well, that'll be cool.
That's a good award.
So
you got to celebrate that.
So we get the award, and the whole 7th grade class is there. And there's like, I don't know, the school's pretty big. It's like 400 kids in this class, probably 400 kids.
Mm-hmm.
It was an hour long of them calling names for different awards. And by the time it was all said and done with, I wish I had a clicker. I'm going to buy a clicker, like to keep track of people coming in and count next year.
Of how many kids got awards?
Of how many kids, how many awards were given.
Yeah.
Because I bet if you ran the numbers, it was a 1-to-1 ratio.
Every kid got an award. Their participation trophy.
Not every kid.
I can tell you this. My daughter's in that school. No award.
Well, this was the 7th grade class, not the 8th grade class.
She did not get one in 8th.
Okay.
Grade. You think there's a drop off from 7th to 8th?
Well, they gave out so many awards, and they weren't all like, a lot of them were, some kids got 5 or 6.
Oh,
Some kids got none. But when you looked out from the bleachers, like almost every kid had a freaking award. It was crazy. And they did the whole like care award or whatever.
Dude, that's even more humiliating than for the kids who don't get an award.
Yes. Dude, I was looking.
Like my daughter sat through that shit today and she was talking about it. And she was talking about how a dude that she used to like, who then turned out to be an asshole, got an award and that upset her.
Yeah.
Because like people were like, oh yeah, how are you feeling about this? So like it was a whole like drama thing.
They had a whole award.
But that would suck if she's like sitting there also going, I can't believe I didn't get an award. They give out participation trophies, but then they actually give out 95% of the population an award. That's actually the opposite. Of
Dude, they gave out some awards called like something on the rise, and it was like some ambiguous award, and they must have given 100 of those out. And I literally kept seeing this one kid sitting in front of us at the end who looked like he wasn't the most popular kid in school, and that kid never got an award. And I was like, this has got to be awful for these kids not getting an award. Like, I felt sympathy for this kid. Like, why drag the whole class in there? Just drag the kids that are getting the awards in.
My oldest daughter got some award, and she got a thing in the mail, and it was like, you're getting an award.
Yeah.
And so, like, only those people were invited, and it was after hours.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was cool.
Yeah.
In fact, my daughter may be the smartest person in history. She got the smartest history award. Like,
nice.
Up to 1,500.
Yeah.
Apparently, after 1,500, she's a dunce.
Nice.
But up to 1,500,
she knows it all.
She's a wizard.
But yeah, it was an hour of that, and I was just like, this is. I mean, at 9:30 in the morning, like the most perfect time to, like, the middle of the morning. Like, either do it at 7 or do it at 11. Like, you're just right dead set. And like, I couldn't go into work. And
9:30 is nice because you could go to work, check in, and bounce.
Except my work is 30 minutes away, so I wasn't going to drive into work, drive back here, then drive back into work.
There goes your fucking perfect attendance award. Screwed it.
But yeah, I just felt so bad for those kids, and I'm like, what a waste of time. And then they were like, if you would like, take your kids home after this. And I'm like, of course.
Not all my perfect attendance.
All the kids are like, yeah, that sounds great. And
so the dunces have to stay?
Yeah.
So
no, any of the kids, anybody. You could if you were a parent,
but the parents weren't there.
Yeah, the parents weren't there.
No,
yeah,
that's
the
ultimate kick in the teeth. It's like, all right, 90% of the kids got an award, and you 10% go to class.
Well, we're recording this the Thursday before the quote unquote last day of school. My kids have basically been out of school this whole week. Like, yeah. One day was a half day that we didn't even know about. Like, did you guys know about it? Like, it was wild.
My daughter's already not in school.
Yeah.
She was like, I don't have any more tests. I got straight A's. I'm out. And
yeah.
we were like,
my son had a half day Wednesday. No. Half day Tuesday, off Wednesday, 2 hours today, and is not going in tomorrow. So literally this week was a wash because Monday was a holiday. So collectively,
waste of time.
Less than a day in 4 days. But they care about the kids and their education, I guess.
No. Teachers aren't there either.
No, hell no.
It's all substitutes. But that's good because substitutes need to make some money before. Dude, speaking of awards, you know who's eligible for a major award?
Who? Us? We used to win awards.
We did used to, but you know why? Because we used to submit.
Yeah, that's true.
And then people would be like, oh, I love that shit. Now we just don't even submit. We get mad at the listeners for not rating or reviewing or doing anything. But we also now don't give a shit to the point that we never.
Well, we also had Brad on the inside.
Which helped.
Yeah.
Which helped. But yeah, now we don't. We just don't even submit our
name.
They can't Every once in a while, we do show up.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be like, hey, that's me. And I'll vote. Yeah. And then we don't promote it. We don't talk about it. Other podcasts are talking about it.
They must Google something. Or it must come up in, you're in marketing, you would know. I'm assuming there's a search engine or there's a way to search by volume.
Well, no, doesn't know by volume because that's not public information.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that doesn't. Unless I put it out there, it wouldn't be public information.
But can't they search what's searched, right? Isn't there a way to do that?
Absolutely. You can look at keywords and shit.
Yeah.
I wonder what happens if I do search.
What are you going to search? Most popular Richmond podcast?
Yeah, we're going to see what comes up.
We would definitely win longest tenured Richmond podcast.
Nah, Geeks Under the Influence is right there too, though.
They stopped years ago.
Nah, they're still going.
No, I think they stopped.
Dude, there's not even...
I'm pretty sure Geek stopped a while ago.
No, they came up on this list.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they're still making podcasts.
Man, it's heartbreaking.
We're not even listed?
Under education. No, yeah, we don't even exist anymore. We used to be the best sports podcast, which we don't even really talk about sports. Actually, that's what I did want to just talk about. Know who's up for a major award? One, Charlie Hustle.
Dude, Geeks haven't put out a podcast since 1/29/23.
Well, they're listed on that list that was released recently.
That's hilarious.
That is funny. That's how bad those lists are.
Yeah.
Dude, Pete Rose.
Pete Rose.
Back in baseball. You know what the last thing he said, like right when he was dying?
Oh, yeah.
Don't.
I don't want to be.
So what'd we do?
We did it.
How about fuck you?
Yeah.
One more fuck you to Pete. Pete said, don't do it. I don't want to be let back in baseball. Don't do this after I die. I don't want to be in the Hall of Fame. Fuck you.
I mean, it was what, a month?
So he dies, and baseball goes, I think we're going to lift the ban.
Yeah. Just a middle finger and a kick in the nuts. Dude, my college buddies that I'm on the chat with, we talk about this type of stuff all the time. And all of us were just like, that's insulting on like so many levels.
No, I find it fucked up. I do think he should be in the Hall of Fame.
He should have already been in.
Always thought he should have been in the Hall of Fame.
But all of them should be.
Oh, I'm a big Sammy Sosa guy.
I mean,
want him in.
Look, I'm a McGuire fan. I hate Sosa, but they should both be in.
Of course. For that summer. Even if you take out the whole thing, that summer,
they saved the sport of baseball.
Absolutely. And Pete Rose was a baller. And he should be in the Gambling Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Because that dude could gamble on everything.
Yes.
He was the best at gambling. I mean, not necessarily. I guess he had some mob problems. He wasn't paying a lot.
I think he basically, too, was gambling on his team to win.
This is an interesting thing that we say. We all say it. It's not like he bet against them. Only because it was never proven he bet against them. There was no proof of them throwing a game, him betting against them. But you gamble that much and you're in that much debt at different times. You don't think ever he was like,
well, it's easier.
This pitcher sucks.
It's easier to fix a game for you to fail than win.
But I think even as just a gambler, he could be like, this guy's stuff sucks today. He's like, I've been watching him all week.
Oh, you mean
he's
like,
not throwing well.
Yeah, yeah.
Like my pitcher doesn't. We're gonna win 2 out of 3 games in this series.
Yeah, but like I think the thing about the gambling thing was he was like fixing stuff, like bet on the under for the pitcher to go 5 innings, and he's the manager and he can pull the guy.
Oh, that would have been just a wellspring of wealth. I would.
Yeah.
Hell, I'll do that.
Yeah, how could you not do that?
How could you not do that?
Like,
this guy won't make it 4 innings.
This guy won't pitch over 74 pitches. 73. Get out of here.
I mean,
that would probably be immediately picked up by the powers that be. I mean, most of the powers that be, like those sports books, they know how to pick up on that stuff. Like that's why they always get caught. When you see, J. Sargent Reynolds Community College, when you see
and
$100,000 goes on the guy to get, less than 4 points, and he usually scores a dozen, and he pulls strains his calf muscle 2 minutes in, you're like, wait, what? Like
and all the money was over here? Yeah. It becomes pretty obvious pretty quick. But I do think it was the ultimate middle finger, though, to put Pete in there. I think it's just another way. And they were able to do it to look like heroes. No, but put him back in baseball.
Yeah.
He's going to be on the ballot.
Yes. He still might not get in because those sports writers still hated him.
No, he's dead. You can't do that to a he'll get in. I'll bet on that. And then technically he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
With an asterisk?
Yeah. Fucking great odds. Bet on this shit.
I mean, should you put him in?
They shouldn't have taken his ban off.
They never should have stopped him. They never should have banned him. They never should have kept him out. But being that his last wish was, I don't want to be in, I feel like you have to honor that.
they intentionally did everything against him.
Yeah.
It's all spiteful.
I mean, the dude had more hits than like everybody by a lot.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
Yeah.
The dude could play.
Yeah.
Breaking people's arms, running into them and stuff. Like, dude was an asshole. A real piece of shit. I loved him.
No, but he like tried hard. Where like now, like somebody hits a dribbler back to the pitcher and they don't even run it out.
Dude, I get excited when I see a dude who runs all the way to the outfield.
Yes.
Just runs out.
Yep.
And then runs back.
Yep.
Which I think started because Sammy used to do that, but he was so hopped up. Like,
Well, I think good ball players were doing that before.
no, but I'm saying that's where I started. Picking up on
he
it.
ran hard.
But that's when I started noticing it.
yeah.
I was like, that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of energy I'm looking for. Now it's so rare. Like if I'm watching a game and I see a dude who does it every time, I'm like, I like that guy.
Yeah.
Pete Rose did that all day, every day, for everything.
My kid had a little league coach that told him years ago. He's like, "There's no walking around on the baseball field. You run on and you run off. Like
That's right.
So that's what you do."
Does he still do it?
My kid, yeah, but not most of the kids.
Yeah, that's how you
A
do
lot
it.
of kids don't run out.
So if I didn't know your kid
Pop outs.
and I was just watching a game, I'd be like, I like that kid.
Yeah.
'Cause he runs.
Yep.
I like that shit.
It says a lot.
And that's why I like Charlie Hustle.
Yeah.
I'm pissed, man.
Great nickname.
Great nickname.
Yeah.
That. I read something about why that nickname doesn't have anything to do with baseball.
Oh, really?
It's another one of
because
those.
like he's like a hustler.
It was something else from when he was like a kid. It's like it's something he had
before he was.
I think it's because he was a little kid. He was like super short. He was like a tryhard and was always going at people, and they just always called him
Charlie Hustle.
Yeah. But Charlie's not even his name. No, so like that had something else to do with it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like there was the whole thing.
I always assumed Charlie was his first name or like Chuck or something.
No, it was like a make fun nickname.
Ah.
They were like busting his balls.
Yeah. He showed you by not ever getting in the Hall of Fame.
Face.
Boom.
That's what's up.
Just like Brendan and I.
Not even the top list over here. We've gone downhill fast.
We are not in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
I'll tell you something else that's not in the Hall of Fame. Well, it's in the Hall of Fame. It's in a certain Hall of Fame. Genesee Cream Ale.
That garbage ass beer.
That's the Hall of Fame it would be in. That's the one. Because there is a certain segment of the population, Schlitz, Genesee.
I don't even know if I've ever had it.
Stroh's.
I know there's a guy in my neighborhood who drinks the shit out of that stuff at the pool. And he's from Canada, and he's probably late 50s.
Yeah, you know where Genesee Cream Ale comes from?
No idea.
Is like Syracuse or Rochester, New York. So it
okay.
is like right
Yeah,
up there
yeah,
by
yeah.
Canada. Like I think it's Rochester,
Yeah.
but it sits up there, so it's not a long journey to
Yeah.
Canada. But Genesee Cream Ale falls right into that Stroh's, Schlitz, Beast, like those just beers that have.
Is it even that good?
Oh yeah, it lives right
As good
in
as
that.
Beast?
Beast is bad.
Maybe I just consume so much I don't have a...
Natural Light would be the king. Actually, full
Natural
flavor.
Light's good.
Full flavor Bush, pretty king. But there's a different level when you get to the Stroh's, the Schlitz, the Genesees. It's
There's
different.
a lot of those are malt liquors where they're not even beers.
But they weren't. There's Stroh's malt liquor, or no, Schlitz malt liquor.
Yeah.
But there was a Schlitz beer. Was it always a malt liquor?
I think it was always a malt liquor.
This
I don't know,
falls
but
into its own category.
They're always on the bottom shelf at the 7-Elevens.
If they have them.
Yeah.
Because now you can't even find them. But there's like this.
I think our sheets up here has Genesee. Because I think that's where the Canadian.
PBR kind of falls
Yeah,
in that.
yeah.
But it's like they still exist for like a blue collar.
Cream ales always confuse me. Like, is it creamy? Is it like a...
It's just a little softer than your typical cheap beer. And that's
Because
all-
like Natural Light's so aggressive.
yeah, just, right. It's confusing. But I was in.
What
the
was that
store.
joke Stu sent us about the guy from Monty Python said that American beers like having sex on a canoe.
Yeah, it's fucking near water. Yeah. Eric Idle. said
Yeah,
that shit. Yeah. So, Yeah, it's like having sex in a canoe.
Yeah.
It's an old Eric Idle quote. But so I saw something today. I saw Genesee has a new beer.
Okay.
It looks fantastic.
Fantastic, you say.
Yeah, because all Genesee's fantastic.
Yeah. So let's just keep that going, huh?
I once had an entire keg of Genesee out here.
Really?
Yeah. Drank
I don't know
whole,
if I remember that. Maybe then I must have had it.
I guarantee you had it because it was a while ago.
Yeah.
I think it was actually in the old man room before the pallet house.
Yeah.
And you drank the shit out of it.
I'm sure I did. If it was coming out of your keg, I was drinking it.
Yeah, and you didn't complain.
So you have a new version down here is what I'm guessing?
Look right on the top of that Gigantor case. There's one sitting on top. That one I have cold. The others are getting cold.
Genesee Specialty Ruby Red Kolsch.
Yes.
So this isn't the cream ale.
No. They have a summer beer.
It's got a really cool can. Can you see the
Nah.
colors on it?
Nah, it looks yellow.
Yeah, the can's yellow. It looks like it has grapefruits on it, and then the top and bottom are blue, and a lot of this is red and blue.
But that sailor with his
the tray
pipe?
and the pipe.
Come on. This beer is going to be great.
It's out of Rochester, New York.
There you go.
4.5 ABV.
It's a perfect beer.
Kolsch style blonde ale with natural flavors.
Oh, it's going to be good. They're going to hide
Natural
the Genesee.
pink and red grapefruit flavors.
Yeah, you can't have just one.
No.
How excited are you about this beer?
I'm kind of excited.
I'm excited. It is
It's
bad
a cool
beer.
looking can, and I feel like a Kolsch beer with a little grapefruit
Could be
twang in it
refreshing as
could be
shit,
pretty-
right? And you know they take the time to make a good beer. Genesee always has.
Yeah. The only thing, it's got a lot on the nose. The only thing I worry about, and I hope this is cold, because I feel like if this isn't cold, it's going to be
Trash.
gross. It's not colored.
No,
Like it's not huge
it
pink
pours
or
like
anything.
a standard beer.
Get it?
Oh, on the nose, it's real grapefruity.
Yeah. But also funky.
Yeah,
Like a skunky grapefruit.
yeah, like a dusty old brewery.
Yeah, that is wild.
Okay,
It smells tart.
oh Genesee. Interesting. Now, it probably has something to do with the fact that I just crunched a Zin. Like I bit it
You
before
bit it?
I spit
Oh,
it
no.
out. So my whole mouth is
Minty?
pepperminty.
This is interesting.
Genesee Ruby Red Kolsch. That is
Where'd you buy this?
Wegmans. Because Wegmans is from New York.
What was do you remember the price point on it? Because I see you have a 12-pack down here.
I have a 12-pack. $10.99.
That's a good deal these days, right?
For a 6-pack
Yeah.
in the world I'm living in.
No, but I'm saying like even as far as light beer,
Hell yeah.
Like
no,
a
Genesee's the worst.
no, but I'm saying like Coors Light, a 12-pack would be $16.
Yeah, it's a step up.
Yeah.
No, this is a cheap beer.
It doesn't. I'm not going to ruin it, but I'm intrigued by this.
At $10.99, if you take that number into consideration, then it's not bad.
I don't hate this.
But at $20 for a 12-pack, you might have a different opinion.
This is light and refreshing.
It fucking is.
And it has no beer flavor.
Because it's a Genesee.
Yeah,
It's the worst.
but it's delicious. I think this is pretty tasty.
I mean, it's not going to be a Groove City Hefeweizen.
No, it's got nothing going on in it.
Okay. I'm just saying you're over here going, this is good. And I'm like, it's not.
It hits you with a good. I like this mix of pink and red grapefruit. I think it's good because it's tart, but it doesn't give you that pucker face. It's not overly tart, and then it just washes away clean. And it's
because the beer sucks. But it's a Kolsch, and Kolsch's are supposed to do that.
They're very light.
A Genesee Cream Ale is a cream ale.
Yeah.
And it is.
Nah. That sounds like just bad on your tongue.
Yeah.
But this, like, I don't think this is bad.
They made a mass-produced cheap Kolsch and then adulterated it with grapefruit so that you couldn't taste any impurities.
Well, and I'm guessing without the grapefruit, you couldn't taste anything, like much less impurities.
But maybe you could.
Maybe, but this is a good mix of light beer and just enough grapefruit to give it some flavor. It's not as good as the last one we loved because that one had a lot going on. This is good for not having a lot going on.
Yeah, which is a weird
But this is
position.
Like, we talk about, oh, you want this, whatever beer while you're sitting around the campfire. You want this beer while you're on the boat, on the pontoon boat.
100% identifiable as grapefruit.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing. Oftentimes you get like a fruit in there and you go, I guess.
Yeah. You're like, what the fuck is a mango? Or not a mango, but there's like all these other fruits. You're like
guava.
Yeah, you're like, I don't even know what that taste profile would be.
Like there's a tartness that is clearly grapefruit in the end.
But it doesn't make your cheeks.
No, but I'm saying there is that little tart in my mouth. I'm like, huh.
Mm-hmm. And it surprisingly doesn't taste artificial.
No.
It tastes like you stood over this Kolsch beer and you just squeezed the grapefruit into it.
A red and a pink.
Yes.
Dude, this is hard to score because it's no doubt that we both enjoy it.
Yes.
But to what level?
That's where I have the problem. Because the score I want to give is the score we don't give. Because it's an in-betweener. Because I do like this beer, and I like it more than I like a lot of beer. But
I tell you what, though, and I know this shouldn't come into play, but at $10.99 for a 12-pack, this shit's going to be in my fridge all summer long.
Chef's kiss.
This is going to be in my fridge all fucking year.
I was going to say, before we got sidetracked, when you're talking about, oh, I want this beer by the campfire, this beer out on the boat, like this just tastes like the perfect hot weather, whether you're at a pool, whether you're cutting grass. This is just a light beer that could be drank on a hot summer's day.
Okay, I'm just gonna go because I don't want to like. This beer is refreshing. It really tastes like grapefruit. I don't know if you could drink a dozen of them, but you can because they're $10.99.
I was gonna say I could. I think I could. I think I could crush these. Like if we had the Pallet House open on a baseball Saturday or something, and we were all just chilling out. Like I think I could go through quite a few of those. At 4.5 too.
It's a good beer.
It's crushable.
It's almost like ew. it's almost like it has a hint of salt, which works for it. There's something weird going on.
I wonder if you put a pinch of salt in it.
So the grapefruit tastes like legitimate grapefruit. The Kolsch is almost non-existent.
Yeah.
So you don't really know it's a beer. There's like a hint of salt that seems to cut the grapefruit from being any kind of too tart, mellows it out. This is a blasphemous score because this is not a good beer. This is a cheap beer that tastes really good.
Yes.
And is refreshing. And I'm going to buy it again, and I'm going to keep it around. And the only reason I'm not going to say 3 is because of that. Because I will seek this out as a summer beer that I can easily hand out and just have around. And because of that, because of how accessible it is to anybody, it's a 3.5.
I agree, and I think I might. And you gave it a rousing score. I think I even like it more because I started at 3.5, and
no,
I can't go to a 4. That's where I'm like, I want the 3.75 because I really like this, and I think a lot of people would like this, and I think it works well. Again, tart but not too tart, clean, crisp, delicious, smooth. I like this beer. I think a lot of you guys should give this beer a whirl, especially when we're saying it's $10.99 for a 12-pack, you're not paying $12.99 or $14.99 for a 6-pack of beer you might not like.
They're going to try to make something like this, and they're going to make it more complicated.
Yeah.
Give it all these other flavors and all these other elements, and the beer itself is going to be a better beer.
Yeah.
And it's going to make you go, it's just not right.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is so piss water that it's fantastic.
Yes. But I can't.
Yeah, 3.5.
I
I'm good with 3.5.
I can't give this a 4 because I'm like, this is cheap beer. This is Genesee. I'm probably keeping from giving it a 4 because it doesn't have enough going on. But I also shouldn't really punish it for doing what it's doing and doing that
it's
well.
so little going on that
You're already going to another one.
Yeah. Why would I not be drinking?
So we're going to both agree on 3.5.
Kolsch. All right. So it's not a quorum deli. It's like the lightest.
Everybody would like this.
So we need to give it to see if that bell ring matters.
See if you have any when Dave gets back. If Dave comes back. If we let Dave come back.
I literally just cracked another one though because it's so fucking good.
Yeah.
I love that.
Who thought that? You didn't think that.
I hope.
Did you really think it might be good?
I had a hope.
Thought when you sent the picture, I was like, I think this is a lark. Like he's like this
it kind of was,
awful.
but I had hope for it. You know, like
yeah.
When you see like, I don't know, you the example I was going to give wasn't going to be good. Fuck it. When you see the special needs kid, you know, and he rolls out there and you're like, oh, they're going to let him score a touchdown.
Yeah.
And then that motherfucker.
And he jukes somebody.
And then he punches through the line.
Yeah.
And he fucking scores. You go, oh, they didn't bring him in as a lark.
Yeah.
Like he can ball. And then you're like, but you didn't expect it. Now you're psyched.
You should have gone with the basketball analogy because that happens more than they never barrel through the line on the football field.
Okay,
but
they
will.
All of a sudden, they bring out the kid.
Yeah, and
then he starts draining threes, and you're like, "Oh, what's up?" Like Genesee is like the 3-point midget.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
This beer is the student manager who has been keeping score and doing laundry.
And they let him play, and
you've been so
lights
good.
out.
Yeah, and
lights out.
They seen him shoot in practice and hit some shots, and they're like, hey, we're up big against this team. It's the last game of the season. Let's get him in.
Yeah, and then you realize to yourself, he should have been playing all year.
Exactly.
And that's kind of where I am right now. Like,
He's got sleeping. 5 threes in 4 minutes. Like, what the hell are we doing?
If I had tasted this at the end of the summer, I would have been pissed off. I would have been like, I should have been playing that kid all year.
Yep. It's good. It's real good.
This 3'4" motherfucker can drain threes.
He's crossing fools
all
up.
day. Like this kid can play,
making people look stupid out there.
I'm fired up.
This is why we do it, honestly. Like
when you find something
it's
weird,
easy
like
to
that.
pick the like top dollar beer that it's got some scrumptious name. You're like, okay, that's probably going to be pretty good. But this is why we do it because who else is going to taste test this and tell you what they think? Honestly,
and my dumbass was looking at. I went over to the fridge because I needed cold beers. I was like, I looked at all the cold beers. I was like, there's nothing here intriguing me.
Yeah.
And they have this whole display of Genesee cream ales and then Genesee Ruby Red. And I'm like, what the fuck is a Genesee Ruby Red? And I was like, you know what? It's the Pallet House. This is where you try all the random beers. And that was kind of my thought. I was like,
and this can looks totally different than the other Genesee can, the cream ale can.
yeah, because they've stuck with a very 70s look on the Genesee, which I think.
And it's black and white. Like this is full of color and it's cool looking.
This is my shitty summer beer. At $10.99.
Yeah, always have that in stock. I think you'll be popular.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yo, you ever seen these?
Gosh, that's 2 in a row we've had without Dave.
Yeah, well, I saved one of those Hefeweizen's for Dave because Dave's going to come back from Spain.
He's going to have to retrograde 2 of these.
He's been drinking high-end Hefeweizens over there, and we know he only likes European Hefeweizens.
Yeah.
He hates American Hefeweizens.
He's a snob.
He's going to destroy that from last week.
Because his palate's been all jacked up?
He just wants something so complex.
Will he be coming back just with a Spanish accent? Talking about penis cola this and penis cola that?
Yeah. I think he will.
I think you're right. He was already talking about penis all the time. Now it's just and the cola.
Well, and cola. That's why he was on the verge of diabetes.
Hope you're back next week, Dave.
So this has a great nose on it too.
Yeah.
Which reminds me of something.
Uh-oh. What are we sniffing?
Have you been on a 2C, dude? Have you been obviously you've probably seen this. You ever heard of the Drift air fresheners?
I don't think so.
On Facebook, you probably get ads or around the internet.
I might know what you're talking about, so explain to me.
They're the little wooden air fresheners that stick to a clip up on your mirror in your car or on your
on your
sun visor.
Sun visor? Okay.
You ever seen these? They're wooden.
I don't think I've seen these.
So it's a little piece of wood and you stick it up on your...
Does it hold oil or something?
Yeah. And their whole thing is that we created air fresheners for your car that is like we don't use all these different chemicals,
plastics
and bullshit. Like we're producing something that looks good in your car and also smells authentic. Their whole thing is that they're not creating these chemically shitty smells. I'll tell you, this Genesee makes you burp. So that's kind of their shtick. That this is like a high-end air freshener for your car.
Yeah, I'm looking it up now, and it's cool looking.
The problem with them is you buy them once and they're expensive. But if you subscribe, they're a subscription model.
Oh.
They want to send you one a month to put into your car.
Yeah.
And they've only got like 4 or 5 flavors that you can get all the time. These are like the basics.
Mm-hmm.
And I had
Oh, so you bought one.
So I bought one, like just bought it. And I was like, damn, my car smells expensive.
Yeah.
Like it really smells good. I was like, this is amazing. This isn't like my Vanilla Rama, which is my preferred. I like a Vanilla Rama tree.
I love that cheap vanilla scent.
It's my favorite scent.
Yeah.
Then I got this and I was like, oh, that's like a leather bound book.
Mm-hmm.
So like it made my car.
Smells of leather and rich mahogany.
Exactly. And that actually, I was getting the teak and that's kind of that vibe. And I loved that. And I had it for months. And then one day my daughter made a comment and she was like, and they'd always been talking about how good my car smells.
Yeah.
But then she was like, and I guess she meant this as a compliment, but I took it poorly. She said, yeah, I mean, your car smells like when we get in like an Indian Uber. That to me is a dagger. Because you know those like crowns that you often see?
Yeah.
And it's that overwhelming just stench. It's a positive stench, but there's so much of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, my car
It's like how teenage boys put on Axe body spray.
Yeah.
Like it would smell good if you just shot yourself with it one time, not
So I was devastated.
hit the whole room up.
I was devastated about the
slept
Indian
in there.
Uber comment.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm switching gears. And I did the subscription model because the subscription gets you a different scent every month. And they're like their scent of the month, which you can't get all the time. So they're like,
It's
they're
specialty.
one-offs. Yeah, they're one-offs.
You're in the club.
And so they'll do it. So during the holidays, it's a little more pepperminty.
Yeah. Or like a pine.
So like fall, it really, they go throughout the year and they create scents that go with the time.
Pretty genius.
Yeah. And and they're all like high-end good scents. So I've been enjoying the shit out of these. Well, now that I get them every month, I actually switched to the Stone air freshener.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, the wood doesn't cost as much as the Stone. So obviously I was like, Stone.
Yeah.
I should pay $1.
Of course.
Why wouldn't I pay $1 more a month?
Yeah.
They're better. I don't know that they are. Apparently they hold the scent longer.
Let me know if you have any extras. I might want to try one off you.
You might, but you might not.
Uh-oh. There's a catch. Well, I mean, the Indian Ubers kind of turned me off of it.
She meant it as a compliment. Like when I got offended, she was like, no, it smells great in here. And I was like, but that's not the connotation in my mind.
Yeah.
In fact, my brother-in-law gave me these little trees that are the white tiger. That because he heard about this. And so he got me these white tiger scented ones that literally smell like an Indian Uber. They're so bad. And I had these bitches.
He heard about them like in a good way, that the white tiger's good. Or was it a joke on you?
He literally walked in and he goes, which one of these smells like an Indian Uber? And the dude at like Advanced Auto Parts was like, that white tiger is horrible.
Nice.
And so I've got that shit. I had that shit in my Miata when the mice were dying.
Yeah.
And it stunk.
Because any smell was better than...
Yeah, I was like, well, what? So he gave them to me and I stuck them in there. I still can't necessarily get all of that out, even though I've changed the entire interior.
Yeah.
It's brutal. So shout out to my brother-in-law. But so I've been getting these, but the scent lasts so long in the stone ones that when I get the new one and I put
Does
it in.
it come infused?
Yeah, it comes in a plastic bag.
Uh-huh.
And then it's infused with the oils, and then you take it out and you slap it on this little magnetic thing that sits on your visor.
Yeah.
So I slapped the new one in.
I feel like I see a problem in this.
No, that part's okay. But so...
What do you think I'm talking about?
Like it might fall off?
No, I feel like anything infused in wood or stone, if it's resting against a material, it might dye it, absorb it, suck into it.
You headed down the right path.
Okay.
So the problem is, I started taking these, and then I started putting them in my other cars when I was done, because I was like, okay, well, it's been a month. Remove, throw it in the other car.
Yeah.
Put the fresh one in. And so I was just throwing them in. Well, so in my old truck, I have a clip, and I put it on there. Well, one day, since the visor's so old, one day the clip fell off.
Yeah, because the visor can barely hold itself up, much less
Correct.
something else.
Like it dipped, and then it fell off.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, then I got a new one anyway for that one. So I stuck that, and then I took one of these stone ones, and I threw it in the console. And like my console comes up, but at the front, there's a little change holder.
Yeah.
And I just threw it in the change holder on top of like some bolts and shit that I had.
Yeah.
I threw it in there. I didn't think about it for like a month. So I was out there last night because I had just gotten a new one.
Yeah.
So I pulled it out. I was going through my cycling and I was like, oh, well, I should get rid of the one sitting down here.
Yeah.
It's been here for like 2 months. It certainly doesn't have any smell. Went to pick it up and it wouldn't move.
Oh, no.
Wouldn't budge. Then I looked a little closer and the walls of this little cup holder, it was in the wall. Like it had gone into the wall.
How?
The chemicals in it ate through the plastic.
Oh, wow.
And it just slowly sunk.
Holy
went
shit.
Into the wall and then sunk down in it. And it was also laying on the lip that goes down into the cup holder. And it had started dissolving that and falling down. I fucking ruined my cup holder.
Oh my gosh. And that's like OEM parts, right? Like that's
from 85.
Yeah.
Like you can't get that shit.
No.
So I'm trying to pull it out. It won't come out.
Oh my God.
I'm like, oh my, what the fuck? I kept pulling. Finally I got it out and all my plastic was gum.
Oh.
So I'm in there.
And now you got a hole in your
so I'm in there. Well, I'm taking the gum and
smearing
mushing
it back across.
in.
Yeah.
And then I'm taking
How big a gap is it?
It's a gap probably like the size of your pinky nail on one side going down the wall. But then the entire ridge that should have been damn near a right angle was melted down. Probably as thick as your pinky. That much in.
We're going to have to look at this.
So then I was taking I went and got some chapstick and just was rolling it along there to kind of give it a smooth edge.
Yeah.
And then smearing it to kind of create some kind of continuity in this section. The Drift air freshener literally ate through my plastic.
Whoa.
Destroyed.
Were there any warnings? Like, don't let this touch anything? Like, this was the stone, not the wood?
I don't know if that makes a difference. It was the stone. But I think the stone is heavier.
Yeah.
Maybe it just
But
pushed
still,
in
it ain't a 5-pound weight. I mean.
No, they're pretty light. I mean, they sit on your visor. But yeah, so like, I was like, this fucking sucks.
Because I would have definitely not liked it. I would have probably gotten tired of it being on my visor and put it in a vent or somewhere, like.
Well, they make clip-on ones that go on your vent, but these don't look as cool as the stone or the wood.
Yeah.
And dude, daggers. I was devastated because that's like that's an old truck. I can't get those parts.
So are you going to keep it? Like, or are you going to stop using it? Like,
I'm not going to stop using it, but I'm way more mindful. You can't just throw these things around. They are caustic.
Yeah.
And they will eat plastic and they will eat your dash. And I had read one guy in a review that said, I took this thing out and it was wet, which rarely happens.
Yeah.
But sometimes you will pull one out.
like
and it's
too much oil.
It's still wet. And this guy was like, be careful with this shit. Because on a hot day, I had just put a fresh one in and it dripped onto my dash and it ruined my dash, the oils.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, noted.
Yeah.
So now I wipe them off.
Yeah.
Before I put them on. And I just thought, but I didn't think about when I threw it into
I wouldn't have thought of that.
45-year-old plastic.
Yeah.
Just ate through it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, just gummed it up, man. Horrible. So be careful, all you drift subscribers out there. Solving first world problems. Don't put them on your dash. Don't put them anywhere they don't belong. There's a reason. There's a metal bracket that sits on your visor.
So that bracket separates it from your visor.
Yeah, it lives on metal.
Yeah.
And never touches anything else. And as long as you do that, it's a non-issue.
Yeah.
I've had them for like a year and a half. And they've been fine.
That's crazy.
And like from the day I bought my newer truck, I've had them in there.
Okay.
So I haven't had any issues.
Yeah.
But as soon as I started throwing
at least
them
it was your old
willy-nilly,
truck. Well, is that better or worse? I mean, you don't want to mess the new one up.
it pissed me off either way.
Yeah.
I'd be angry either way.
Yeah.
But that was a dagger. Oh, speaking of car troubles, we have a listener, Aaron, who's been helping Dave, sending money in and everything.
Yeah.
Let's hope he continues to listen to the podcast.
Uh-oh.
I heard from him. He was listening to the podcast, driving into work, and got hit by an ambulance.
Oh my God.
threw his car off the road, took out a fire hydrant, ended up in a grassy knoll
Whoa.
with the fire hydrant.
Is he
removed.
all right?
He's okay.
Yeah.
He's
Did
actually
he call an ambulance?
ambulance was there. Ambulance actually bounced.
Yeah, because they were probably transporting someone or headed
They weren't.
somewhere.
They weren't. There were two ambulances actually.
Uh-huh.
And he's of the belief that potentially it was two ambulances because different companies trying to get to
Racing.
trying to get to the thing to get the money.
Yeah.
And the one ambulance blew through an intersection at a red light and never stopped, never slowed.
That's illegal.
But you got to slow down.
Yeah.
I mean, at least just to make sure nothing's happening.
100%.
So he said he was coming across the intersection and he looks over and he sees this ambulance barreling down on him. So he's like, well, I'm already in the intersection.
Yeah.
So he's like, so he gunned it to get across because it was coming like it was going to hit right into him.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't know if this dude's going to swerve or do whatever.
Yeah.
So he gunned it. The problem is when he gunned it,
So did the ambulance driver?
they swerved
Oh, to
in the
catch
same
up with
direction.
him. Oh.
They were trying to go around him, so they swerved left as he was going across.
Yeah.
He gunned it, so
They swerved to his hood, not his trunk.
They continued to chase him
Yeah.
and creamed him,
Totaled his car.
totaled. They said threw him off the road, crashed
They
him.
have a nice car?
Yeah, yeah. Well, he had a nice car,
Yeah.
but now once I found out he was fine
Yeah.
and he's okay, no kids in the car, no one else in the car. He's okay. Car's likely totaled, but he's fine. Now I'm concerned that maybe he can't listen to the podcast because
Traumatic.
it could trigger.
PTSD.
That would suck.
That would suck.
If every time he listens, he starts quivering his lip.
Yeah.
He'll never get to know Dave when he's skinny.
No.
Or when Dave has to send all the money back.
Yeah. Because that will happen.
Dave, be like, I gained 10 pounds, Venmo Aaron back. That would be dope.
That sucks, man.
Yeah. A lot of car troubles going on.
Yeah.
It's a rough time, man.
That's wild. Did you guys do anything fun for Memorial Day?
Nah, the weather sucked.
It did suck, didn't it?
Screwed it all up, man.
Yeah.
I was going tubing. Didn't happen. Didn't do any of it.
We were down in North Carolina for a dive meet for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and came back late Monday. Pretty cool. Had an Airbnb, one of the oldest, weirdest ones we ever had. We each kid had their own bedroom, but it was a one bathroom, so it kind of sucked.
Yeah. Bathrooms matter as much as bedrooms.
Yeah. We went to a Knights game, which is Charlotte Knights have an amazing facility. So if you're ever in Charlotte, go down there. It's the AAA team for the
Okay, so baseball.
I forget who. Anyway, freaking awesome stadium right downtown.
Okay.
Really cool. Went to a illusion museum, which was really cool.
Like magicians?
No, like visual optical illusions.
Oh, so everything you're looking at is weird?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I saw pictures of this. This is where, like, you can stand in one corner and it looks like you're 2 feet tall.
Yeah.
And your kids are over here and they look like they're 20 feet tall.
Yeah, and you take pictures and it looks like you're standing on the wall, or the pictures look like you're hanging from a building, but really you're laying on the ground and taking the picture through through a mirror. But yeah, it was really cool. And but I did like lose my shit on on the boys this weekend.
And it was an illusion. Didn't really happen.
No, that was real.
Oh, cool.
My
is this a story you want to tell?
Yeah, my younger son is in the volleyball. I thought you would be interested.
Yeah, I like volleyball.
So he wants to play volleyball. So he's been practicing, doing all that stuff. So across the street from our Airbnb, we were right on Lake Norman. There was a park, had 4 sand volleyball courts. So we went over there one evening, and the boys were playing 1-on-1, just hitting the ball back and forth, which is quite hard to do on a beach volleyball court.
Yeah. Easy to score points.
Yeah. And I was like, do I want to get out there? Might hurt myself, might whatever. And I was like, volleyball was my jam. Like, that's what I played in high school. I'm pretty good at volleyball. I think I can get out there and hang with the kids.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, y'all go on the same side and let's mess around. So we're playing, we're hitting it back and forth. And to them, I'm nothing but an old guy who can't do anything well. You know, like never athletic, never anything, just an old dude.
You're a dad.
Yeah. They always tell me I'm 50, and I mentioned the school I went to today, and my son was like, "Oh, that was that one room one with the chalkboard." I was like, "Yeah, you've seen black and white pictures of it." Like,
there you go.
I'm just an old guy.
Everybody from kindergarten to high school, same.
So while they were playing 1-on-1, they were playing like, I guess they could hit the ball 3 times. Normally in volleyball, you can't hit the ball 2 times.
Well, you gotta flub some rules.
Yeah. But so I was like, all right, so I'll play that way. You guys can bump, set, and spike because there's 2 of you. You can play by the normal rules.
There you go.
So we're playing, and I'm wearing them out, and they're talking shit the whole time, and I'm like getting fed up. I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
you're winning.
This is my thing. Like, and I'm kicking your ass.
Are you playing with the 3-hit rule?
Yeah, but most of the time I'm just sending it back their way.
Yeah, let them fuck
it up. Yeah.
Why not? That's the move.
So they start dinking it to where I'm not. And I can't cover a sand volleyball court on my own.
But that's how they should be doing it. That's what I would be doing.
Well, what they should be doing is they should be bump set spiking it. Like, they should be trying to actually play the sport of volleyball. Otherwise, I'm not if it's not going to be any volleying.
No, but if you're talking, if they're
we weren't keeping
losing.
Score. We were just trying to get a volley going, like to get some volleys going on. Because otherwise, I'm going to serve it. You're going to hit to where I'm not, and then it's over. Like, there's no.
But you were eating them up.
Yeah.
So at some point, it's a pride thing where you're like, I'm just going to sit in the back corner.
So they kept dinking it, and I was like, "What are we doing here, guys?" I'm like, "There's 2 of you and 1 of me. Y'all should be bump set spiking it. Meet me at the net. Let's fucking go." And they both looked at each other like, "Oh shit, we've like pissed off the old guy."
Dude, good for them though. You should have gotten your wife out there and been like,
well, she was out there, and then she just walked away. She was like, "Yeah, I don't want to be around this right now.
I don't want to hear you screaming at the kids because they're trying to win."
Yeah.
I think I would have fucking, if you and I were playing 1-on-1, you expected me to be putting it in the back corner and back here.
Yeah, but
they wanted to practice.
Well, yeah, the one wants to get better. So I'm like, if you want to get better, you got to learn to.
I'll just return them.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, fuck you.
Exactly, yeah. And I'm like, I obviously can't get to the back corner every time. So, yes, you can beat me there, but what good does that do you? Put it down. Like, what are we doing here?
It's that little hit. A little hit of victory.
It obviously is.
Beating your dad.
But did your dad ever like let you win stuff? My dad sure as shit. Not that we did a lot together, but I had a hoop outside and he would wear me out.
But I think that's kind of why they took advantage of the situation. Because they're like, this dude's always wearing us out. He always stuffs at the basketball hoop.
I usually don't even play with them because they're pretty competitive and they're I didn't have anybody to play with. Like,
I remember a couple years ago, I played with your oldest son. We were playing basketball.
Yeah.
And I was like, at first I was like, giving him his space, letting him shoot, doing his thing. Then he started hitting shots. That kind of pissed me off a little bit. So I started getting competitive. And then I started like coming in and crowding him and like swatting him. And he was still able to get enough space and hit some shots on me. And I was like,
yeah.
He didn't beat me, but that was years ago.
Yeah.
I guarantee he could beat me now.
Well, yeah, I mean,
because I already saw with his little skill set, he was able to.
I
get
would be
separation.
down for him for any of them to beat me in anything, but like beat me. Don't like technicality. Like
let's you and I play those two.
Exactly.
Let's put them in their fucking place.
Exactly.
Then they can start setting them in the back corner.
Exactly.
I'll set you.
Yeah,
that would be fun.
But it was just I like lost my cool. But then I was like, man, I need to chill the hell out. We're just out here having fun. But like. I'm so competitive.
But that's because you're competitive nature. So why are you shocked that they started taking advantage of you?
No, I just want them to play right and get better. Like the whole point is to get better. Like I spend hours, countless. I mean, I can't do it with my own son because he's a diver, but I've spent countless hours over 10 years on the baseball field, helping my son get better. And he is better.
You're hitting grounders to him. You're not cranking him over his head.
Exactly.
Going, you fucked up, nerd.
Yeah, and I'm not hitting him a million miles an hour where like he can't field them. Like I want you to get better here.
Yeah,
like
you're trying to help him.
Yeah. And that was the whole point of this. Like we're out here getting some work in. Let's do it.
You're just trying to effectively hit grounders.
But I did feel bad because I lost my cool at him.
I would too, though, because once you start losing, you're like, this is bullshit because we're competitive by nature.
Well, I was like, I'll just sit here and watch you two try to play one-on-one. Like, I mean, that didn't look like y'all were having any fun there. Like, let's get a volley going here.
Probably more fun when Dad's screaming.
Yeah. I think I negated the fun there.
Yeah.
But we kept playing and I cooled off and it was fun.
You always have to. That's the hardest part about being a parent is like when you lose your cool.
Yeah.
Then trying to get them like, okay, I recognize I just fucked up. I lost my cool. My bad. And then you got to try to like reel it in to get it back to fun. That is the most difficult road.
Well, and they did have some like my 7th grader can't meet me in the net. Like he's not putting it down, but they did have some bumps at spikes where he would like spike it over me into the corner, but it was like a legit
But that's okay because you're up at the net guarding and he got over you.
Yeah,
and did his
he
thing.
wasn't just dinking it to the back corner,
Yeah.
So I was like, great. That's what I wanted you to do. Like,
yeah, now you're shooting shots based on the situation in front of you.
Because when you're playing, as you know, because your daughter plays, when you're playing a real volleyball game, like if your third shot's a dink, that shit's coming right back in your ear hole. Like
if the other team's playing right,
yeah,
that's what they should do.
Yeah,
they should bump set, spike your ass because you were the dumbass who set up a nice pass to get it started.
Yeah. So just parenting, fun stuff.
That's always tough, man. I hate that. I hate that feeling when I lose my cool.
I know,
and then I have.
It's been a minute.
It has. It's the last. I know the exact last time I did. It made me feel horrible.
Yeah.
Because then I was like, hey, I shouldn't act like that.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't act like that. Like, so like, don't think that what I just did is acceptable because that was bad.
But like, you don't lose your cool on your kids when they're not pushing buttons too, No,
they were in the wrong. How they were acting was wrong.
But your wrong doesn't make the right. Yeah.
If I hadn't reacted that way though, then I could have still been like, that was fucked up. Mm-hmm. You're in trouble. You acted wrong. Go to your room.
Yeah.
But it ended up where I reacted poorly, and then I was like,
then we're all assholes.
Then I was like, you want to go to dinner? Like, let's go to dinner. I'm a pay. I'll go to dinner. Yeah. Then I had to like take him out to dinner.
Where do you guys want to go?
Yeah. Like then I'm walking it back.
Yeah.
And that's just such a shitty feeling because you should have been in control. You should have held it together. They're kids. You're a grown ass man. It's just not.
Yeah, but something about it's most dudes. Like every dude I know, like we're competitive. Like it's
of course.
And you can't turn it off.
I can't turn it off at anything.
No.
I'm competitive about everything all the time.
Yeah.
And it gets me in trouble.
That's part of why I don't like to play a lot of things because like especially at my advanced age, like people are like, let's go play flag football. I'm like, I will hurt myself to beat you and to have that bragging rights. And what would that be worth when I'm limping my ass to work in a boot. Like, that's not going to serve me. Like, that's
but if you win and don't get hurt, that's a win.
Yes, I know, but like,
that's the problem.
My adult brain keeps me from doing that.
See, I still like, I'll go for it, and I get hurt.
Yeah,
I get hurt all the time. I'm injured right now.
But we don't do enough. We don't do that much anymore. But like,
no, which makes it even worse because like we can't cut, we can't do the things that we do.
But like when we do, the feats of strength and whatever we do, during M4K, we're like, bet you I can hit that tree with that frisbee. Like that shit is just as real as I bet I can beat you 1-on-1 on a basketball court, or I bet I can score a touchdown over you. Like it's
every bit of it.
It's the same.
It doesn't
feeling
change.
You get.
It doesn't change.
Yeah.
That raw intensity will never waver. I believe I will be in the retirement home fucking slamming a checker down.
Yeah.
Slamming a checker down.
I bet I can push my wheelchair to the end of the hall before you.
I know I can. There's already no doubt in my mind. I've already won this race. I don't care how big this Popeye forearm motherfucker
I'm not
is.
even in a wheelchair yet.
And I know I'm better.
Yeah. Yeah, you've already been in that wheelchair for 2 years. You should be able to beat me. I'm going to kick your ass anyway.
Did you hear that the Popeye film set was like one of the most coke-laden?
The original one?
Robin Williams.
Yeah, because I thought I heard recently they're remaking it.
I think that's why it's starting to come to light. But I guess the director,
you would have had to have been on drugs to make that movie, that live-action movie, right? It's a great movie, by the way.
One of the best.
God, I love that movie.
Love that movie.
I need to watch it again. We watched it with the kids when we were younger. My wife had never seen it. I was like, y'all never seen Popeye? Like, it's phenomenal.
I might.
You can go. I thought I'd read something where you can go toward. They still have that town built on that little island, and like you can go toward that.
Well, that island was apparently in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
like that was a legitimate,
and it's still a tourist attraction.
So apparently, I didn't know this, but they would have to send the film back to Hollywood, and then they send back the film canisters, and they were muling cocaine.
That makes sense.
In those film canisters.
Well, they were probably all crashed out. Like, you were probably stuck on that island for weeks at a time.
Yeah. Apparently, the entire crew.
And you're probably working long-ass days because you get all that prosthetic makeup on, and you're out in the middle of nowhere, and the whole, the young people don't know what film is, but making films back in the day required physical film, and it was a nightmare to shoot on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's where those canisters had to get out of there. They couldn't be in that environment.
No.
Like, you had to get them out immediately.
Yeah, and then when you fucked it up, you didn't get to hit delete, and you had, shit, we need more film. Send us more film, like physical blank film.
Apparently, some of when like Popeye's hard to understand is just Robin Williams.
Well, wasn't he was a big cokehead back in the 70s and 80s. And well,
he says he dabbled.
Everyone was. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, but if you listen to him, he would say that he dabbled.
I haven't heard from him.
Not lately. The cocaine is way less effective with him. No, like he would admit that like in the 80s, yeah, there was a cocaine, but like he got away from that and cleaned.
Did you ever watch any of his comedy?
Yeah.
Were you a fan?
I'm a fan to a point.
He always I think it was the coke. Like, he was too spastic and too all over the place for me.
But some of it was so brilliant.
I thought he was great in a lot of his movies when he would do that shtick, whether it be Popeye or Ms. Doubtfire. Like, but he could obviously act. I mean, Good Will Hunting is one of the best movies ever made.
It's very different Robin Williams.
Yeah.
But like, there was a time there, his comedy, he would come out and he'd be like, blah, 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 blah,
and you're just like, what is even going on?
But some of it was truly brilliant.
I'm sure on some level.
Like but then there were points where it's like we would just keep going.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, all right.
It's like Steve Martin's comedy. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, but I love that too.
I don't find him funny at all. Now, in all of his acting roles, he's hilarious.
I was about to say, Steve Martin's a national treasure, just like Robin Williams.
His comedy did not hit with me.
But like Chevy Chase, now there's a guy who did more coke than anybody.
Yeah.
And like,
except Belushi. Actually, yeah, Belushi did do a lot.
Yeah. A lot. That whole crew.
But he didn't do it for long. Like, I think he...
Because he died.
I know, but I'm saying I think he, like, got into it and just went way too hard, way too soon. Like,
but I think had he been alive today, you'd be like, oh yeah, he really mellowed out and got it together. But like, he killed himself
for sure.
And then like Farley did too much coke, but again,
Farley was doing all the stuff, and he was quite unhealthy anyway.
Well, so was Belushi.
Yeah, but not like Farley.
Belushi died doing heroin and cocaine at the same time. No,
I'm saying he was unhealthy. Like Farley was morbidly obese. Like that dude was
he was a little worse.
He was a sack of poo.
He was a little worse. How much coke do you think Candy did?
That guy, he's amazing. He's one of the best ever.
But like, he's a sweetheart. Like, you love him. Yeah. But like,
he had to. I mean, I think everyone was doing it. Like, I seriously think it wasn't even a thing.
Tom Hanks admits that he was doing cocaine in the
yeah.
And Tom Hanks is the national treasure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we love Tom Hanks.
Yeah, I do wish Candy had been around longer, because the films he could still be putting out.
I think Farley was that sweet dude too. I don't think Belushi was a sweet dude.
No.
They make, actually, you watch his documentaries and stuff about him. Like,
who's better, Candy or Farley? Like, if you had to pick one set of movies to get rid of, I think I'm getting rid of Farley's.
That's fucked up. Farley's pretty fucking good.
I'm not saying he's not. This is the hypothetical I'm throwing out. I'm asking you to get rid of one of the greats.
Of a movie? Like an entire set of movies?
Like, whose movies would you rewatch more? If you had to pick, I'm only watching Farley's movies from here on out, or only watching Candy's movies from here on out.
It is really hard, because like the Tommy Boys of the world are fantastic, but the Candy movies hold up differently.
Yes,
I
think they're better movies, top to bottom.
That's what I mean. Whereas Farley movies are all about Farley.
Yeah, being silly.
That's what makes them great. Whereas Candy movies in general just were better.
The Great Outdoors.
The Great Outdoors, like my head immediately goes, but even like you look at
Summer
like
Rental.
But you look at like an Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Right.
Cool Runnings.
You could put Home Alone in there.
Yeah.
I mean, like he did a lot of movies that were, whereas the Farley movies were just, you know, the Tommy Boys. But then you start bringing in like Billy Madison wasn't in there, like everybody on the fucking bus.
Yeah.
Bus driver, but he's like
he's a part,
secondary.
But like Tommy Boy and Black Sheep, it's the same movie.
Tommy Boy's better.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's like, I don't know. I love Farley, but I would think I'd take Candy. I just think.
But you look at like, so you got Farley on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
And John Candy was on SCTV. I don't even know if you ever watched that.
Yeah, I did not, but he was definitely huge on there.
He was great.
Yeah.
And so he did some really good stuff. But if you look at like the sketch comedy,
well, if you got rid of Farley's movies, you still have his
Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
Oh, I get to keep that?
Yeah. I just said movies.
This becomes easier.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with
Candy.
Candy.
It's a no-brainer.
Because if you go with you put SCTV up against Saturday Night Live, Farley had better stuff. But you put the movies up, I'll give it to Candy.
Yeah.
Whew, that's a tough one. That's harder than the deli.
Yeah.
You really fucking me up there. That was a lot. Now I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted from that mental challenge.
And it's late.
I'm gonna have to shut that down. I can't do that. You fucked me up, Troy.
We've given him enough.
You fucked me up.
And Dave, he hasn't hardly said a damn thing.
All right, Dave. I think he said enough.
Yeah.
Think you said enough. Aaron, we're glad you're all right, buddy.
Yes. I bet the listeners are going to be happy when Dave comes back and he has his little quips again.
Yeah. And I got a shout out from Adam over at Rock Dingo. I'm pretty excited about something he's got cooking in the hopper.
Ooh.
I think we'll be talking about that a little bit more as we inch ever closer to November.
What happens in November?
M4K.
Oh, yeah.
But Rock Dingo's got something in. He's got a potential idea to help us raise some money, and I'm super excited about it.
Sounds like it's going to be good.
It's going to be good. So we'll dial that in a little bit more. But if you need any kind of woodwork, you need some things planed, any kind of CNC work, doesn't even have to be wood these days. What they're doing over at Rock Dingo,
he does it all.
Signs, they're flattening things. It's beautiful, beautiful stuff. Look for Rock Dingo Woodcraft. They'll be glad to take care of you. Tell them you came from Inside the Pallet House. I don't know how many woodworkers we got out there, how many people that actually need signs, but you need a sign CNC cut.
If you can, it doesn't even have to be a sign. I mean, just check out his Facebook, look at all his stuff. I mean, he can make you anything. It's crazy.
Literally gorgeous stuff. Fired up. If you haven't had a chance to rate and review, you can always do so. If you want to send us a topic, you can do so at insidethepallethouse@gmail.com. We would certainly appreciate it. If you need a mortgage, you live in Georgia or Virginia, head over to screendoormortgage.com. Jimmy would be glad to take care of you. Let him know you came from Inside the Pallet House. If you need a pair of sunglasses, because summer is here, Nectar Sunglasses is the place you should be going. Drop ITPH in the coupon code. You'll get 20% off.
Yeah, you will.
What are you looking at over there, Troy? Did we get a review or something?
No, personal email. Just trying to catch up.
I just saw you look down. I was like, oh boy, it's a bad review.
No. Nope.
If you got too much discretionary money, you want to send it to us, you can do so on Venmo.
At Inside the Pallet House.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be talking to you next week. Cheers.
Cheers. That's a pretty good podcast, don't you think?
I had too many of these Genesis.
Uh-oh.
I got to pee so bad. So good. There's nothing going on in that beer, and it's still great.
It's delicious.
Really?
That's what's going on. They use the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. Like, quit trying to fucking do all the stuff.
You ever heard of the redneck vacation?
Mm-mm.
You just take a Bud Light, you put a lime in it. It's just a redneck on vacation.
There you go.
That's basically what it is you do.